Hello and welcome to Third Degree. In an attempt to control the sale and consumption of alcohol, the Department of Social Development is proposing a harsh clampdown. They want to raise the legal age of drinking from 18 to 21 and to limit the number of liquor outlets. They also want to completely ban the advertising of alcohol. But will this make a difference in a country where drinking is a popular pastime, often with dire consequences? Let's take a look at some of the social issues facing our country fueled by drinking. Many South Africans go out to get drunk. Tequila Tuesday, Puzza Thursday. Alcohol adverts glamorize drinking. Politicians throw extravagant parties, expensive liquor guaranteed to impress. In the township, shebeens are everywhere, a dop only a short walk away. Alcohol on tap perpetuates growing social problems in South Africa.
We've got a culture where people don't drink to socialize, they drink to get drunk. And we need to change that. Where people, it's okay, we're not saying don't drink. We're saying that we can drink differently. We have an environment where we've got over 200,000 unlicensed outlets in the country.
The proliferation of outlets, shebeens and taverns adds to our many social problems, says Adila.
We have over 50% of deaths that is alcohol related, and close to 75% of interpersonal injuries is associated with alcohol. So in South Africa we've got a crisis.
Another problem, teen substance abuse. It is spiraling out of control. An alarming number of adolescents are dependent on alcohol and a range of illegal drugs. Almost 20% of those in rehab centres are under the age of 21. Peer pressure, antisocial behaviour and teenage angst fuel the flames. 2 years ago we spoke to Sam. She was only 16 when she started drinking, soon becoming dependent on other substances.
I used to substitute my loneliness with partying and with drugs. And drinking is so available. It's even more available than drugs. And I mean, you can go out. Monday night there's always a place open in Joburg. Tuesday night there's a place open. Wednesday night. Thursdays, Puzza Face Thursdays. Whew. You go anywhere and you can get wrecked. And it's a big thing.
Sam completed a 6-week stint in rehab. She's just one of the growing list of victims of the perpetual party. From weekdays to weekends, it's only too common for young South Africans to go out simply to get drunk. And when they take to the roads, the consequences can be devastating. It was past midnight one Saturday in 2005 when Tammy Trevelyan was woken by a chilling phone call. Her only child, 18-year-old Michael, had been in an accident in Pretoria.
Michael went out on a Saturday night with friends of his. I didn't know where they were going. He told me they were going out to a braai. Apparently they'd gone out, and on their way home at about 1 o'clock, 1:30 in the morning, somehow they lost control of the car. Michael was sitting in the front passenger seat and the car hit a lamppost. Michael went through the windscreen, hit his head on the lamppost and sustained severe head injuries.
A week of uncertainty followed. In ICU, Michael struggled to live. Then he was declared brain dead. Tammy was there when they switched off the machines. She believes alcohol played a part in Michael's tragic end.
If there's just one thing I could say to families is take 5 minutes to have another conversation with your child about the dangers of getting in the car with somebody that's been drinking, to speak to your child one more time about drinking and driving, to really think about it before buying your second-hand car. You know, just take 1 more minute to have that conversation.
Petro Kruger is the director of the Road Safety Foundation. She's noticed an alarming increase in teenage and young road users dying on our roads.
Well, one of the big things that we've noticed is an increase in the number of young people injured or killed in accidents. I'm looking at the driving age, so about from 17, 18 to about 25 years old.
More cause for concern. Over 50% of all road accidents are alcohol-induced. So what can be done to curb these ills? The Department of Social Development is proposing new legislation. Following the biannual Substance Abuse Summit last month, these were some of the resolutions that were taken. Raising the legal drinking age from 18 to 21. Stricter licensing laws to reduce the number of shebeens, taverns and liquor stores. Laws to control the proximity of liquor distributors to schools, libraries and places of worship. Increasing the duties and taxes to deter purchasing of alcohol. Increasing criminal liability of individuals and institutions that sell liquor. A ban on all sponsorship by the alcohol industry for sports, recreation, arts and culture and other related events. After the break, liquor traders fight the proposals.
They wanted a candidate of the people.
A man of the people.
By the people. For the people.
We need a candidate that's going to put on a good show.
Throw your hands in the air! And wave them like you just don't care!
But his pigs are more than they bargained for.
Taking everybody's pension.
Chris Rock and Bernie Mac, head of Sunday at 8 on E!
He's the jock of the school, but the girls have had enough.
This guy is cheating on all of you. Instead of taking it out on him, you're beating each other? If we combine, we can make him fall in love with you, and we'll yank it all out from under you.
John Tucker Must Die. Saturday at 8 on E!
We're simply the best!
And you're back with Third Degree. With me now, Mpho Mosing, Director of Regulated Industries at the Department of Trade and Industry, and Saint Madlala from the South African Liquor Traders Association. He is the president of that association. Thanks so much for joining me. Tough new laws. Firstly, do you think that this is going to have any effect?
I think yes. I think there would be a good impact if, we review the legislation and see how best to make it fit, and also to look at the industry, have an environmental scan on what is there and deal with the issues as to how do we resolve these issues. I mean, issues are huge. It's combating of alcohol abuse. It's looking at creation of employment in the industry. It's, trying to get the youth to drink less and all that. So I think those, it will not be just one glove that fits everything.
Sure.
We're going to need specific things and an overhaul of the legislation and the industry.
I wonder though if we're targeting the right thing. I mean, I'm all for raising the drinking age and a ban on sponsorship. I don't think anyone can argue with those. Those are good laws. They're the right laws. But if you look at the ban on cigarette smoking, it's virtually had no impact on smoking. So isn't there a different approach that's needed, which is in the form of education?
True. That's very true. I think that's why I said we don't just one thing that's going to resolve all these issues. I think if there is a need really to review the 21 years of age as a drinking age, then we need to do that. But it should be also informed by the research, informed by what is happening in the environment. And, we need to assess if whether when we actually put it to 21, that the same problems will not crop up, And you're quite right, education is very important. We as the DTI now are looking into issues of awareness, issues of going into the rural areas and, running these programs to ensure that people really understand what is the drinking limitations, what one can actually drink, how many glasses a person can drink of wine before they even get into their cars. So these are issues that we're really looking at, and it has come up at the right time, especially because now everybody's talking about it, and we are required to do something about it. Certainly we are.
Saint, one of the proposals is also to limit and decrease number of shebeens and taverns in the township. What's your view on this?
Well, I would believe that the reason why they want to limit the number of shebeens and also to raise up the level, the age limit, is because they believe that firstly, alcohol is easily accessed if there's an oversupply of liquor outlets.
Right.
Now,
which are inserts which you haven't seen show. It is very easily accessible.
Yeah. I think the problem is not really with the regulated outlets. The problem is with those that are not within the regulatory framework. So to
sort of illegal or pirate places that you're talking about that pop up.
Yes, I'm talking about that. Yeah. So we need, instead of having a negative approach in dealing with the abuse of alcohol, we need to be more positive. We need to bring them within the regulated framework, because there is no way that they will shut down. All that will happen is that they will go underground, and when they are underground, all the things that we're trying to combat, abuse of alcohol by the restricted categories, serving intoxicated people, serving expectant women, those things will thrive.
But how much accountability does your industry take for the horrific effect that alcohol has on our communities?
Look, we do accept that there are problems which emanate from the abuse of alcohol, and those things we are dealing with them.
How?
We've got programs, for instance, that are focusing on different audiences. There's an audience of the little ones, where we are saying to them, we teach them music, to say that drinking is an adult practice, and to drink as a youngster or a child is not cool. And we're also targeting the traders themselves, that the traders themselves need to be very alert as they serve their customers. They should note people that have had too many, people who come into the outlets, and there are many. And we are saying that we need to create safer drinking spaces.
Right.
In other words, we say that in a given a space, you can only accommodate so many people. We don't believe in overcrowding outlets. And we also believe that, as we trade, we do have rights which are accorded to us via the licenses and permits that we have. But we say we cannot use those rights to the detriment of other people's rights. Our rights are limited.
Part of the problem is that the adults don't always drink wisely, so they're not always the best example. And Mpho, let me bring you in here. I think State makes a very valid point, is that there are so many illegal taverns and they are not policed properly as it is. How are new laws going to ensure that there is proper policing? Because it's all very well having a great law, but if it is not enacted and affected and controlled, it's pointless.
Correct. I think, you see, with the industry itself, what we've been concentrating on a lot is the issuing of licenses. We haven't necessarily, as regulators, been concentrating on the enforcement of it. And the focus is now changing, even in the industry itself. And there's training with the police now in different provinces by different provincial licensing authorities in the liquor industry. And there's a number of activities and proposals that we're putting in place, as well as the alcohol abuse strategy that we are currently developing and will be putting in the public spend to say, is this to go and would this achieve the results that we want. So I think the focus now is changing from the issuing of licenses to the enforcement aspect of it.
Because there's a recognition that is lacking.
Correct.
Well, we're going to have to leave it there, but thank you so much, Saint Madlala and Mpho Mosing, for joining us. After the break, we look at the ban on advertising and sponsorship.
On May the 18th, South Africans go to the polls in the local government elections. In the wake of service delivery protests, rampant corruption, and political bickering, how will voters react? Join E! News as we investigate whether South Africans will vote according to political loyalties, or will poor performers be punished for failing to deliver on their promises. All the voting, all the results, all the talking points. Only on E!
Catch South Africa's favorite game, the Live Lotto and Lotto Plus draws with me, Nimrod Nkosi, and Romy Titus, Wednesdays at 9:30 live. 6 numbers is all you need to be one step away from becoming a millionaire. Make sure you're tuned in to the excitement and the tension. Don't miss it. The Live Lotto and Lotto Plus draws, Wednesdays, 9:30 on E!
And you're back with Third Degree. The Department of Social Development is proposing a total ban on alcohol advertising and sponsorship. Let's take a look now at what exactly is being proposed and ask, will these things help?